invasive species to the United States, Australia, and over in Europe. Now the reason they're called a cane toad is for that very purpose. People wanted to keep away sugar cane beetles, so they got these toads because they're so big and they eat a lot of food, and they thought, oh, these guys will eat our beetles that are messing up our crops. The only problem with that is these toads do not climb. So if those beetles go up on the stalks, these toads just don't care about them. We'll talk about that in a bit. So these toads will eat whatever else they want to eat. They will eat bugs, they'll eat worms, they'll eat other frogs. Now, do we have any questions about this toad?
No.
Yeah.
If a toad pees on you, you get wart?
No. There's, even though they're kind of warty, you can touch a toad. You're not gonna. And their diet is actually omnivorous, which means they eat plants and they'll eat meat. So they'll eat anything from aquatic plants, and here at the zoo they'll eat vegetables every once in a while, like lettuce, and they'll also eat things like fish and worms and bugs. And this is about a full-size one. They can always get a little bit bigger. Reptiles grow their entire lives. Even if you think it's full-size and it's done growing, they always do grow a little bit more. And this one is a girl. And how we tell whether it's a girl or a boy in turtles, the easiest way, one of the easier ways, is the tail. If you look at her tail, she's got a short, little stubby tail. Her tail's not very big, so that's how we know it's a girl. In turtles, the boys have the bigger tails, and that way you can see the difference. And also, depending on the turtle, sometimes the boys are smaller than the girls, and sometimes they're really small. Later after the show, if you go back into our danger zone, you can go look at size themselves up, swimming. They can drown pretty easily. But since this one's in South America, it can swim. They'll float a little bit, and they can swim place to place if they need to. Otherwise, they prefer to just wallow in some mud and cool down and get a drink from there. And she's going to be mostly a vegetable eater. She was chewing on that carrot and some of our tortoise pellets she's got all over her face. So they're going to be mostly a bit more lighter colored than it normally would be. Normally it'd be a little bit darker. This is one of those fancy ones you can buy as a pet. It's a salmon color. So it's usually going to be a little bit darker. And its saddles, these little parts right here, they're a little bit red. That's where they get their name, red-tailed boa. Towards the end of the tail, it's a lot redder. And these guys you'll find in Central and South America. And they can sometimes get up to about 13 feet. So you can see this is just a little guy. He's only probably like 2 or 3 feet. He's not very big. So he'll be huge someday. And these guys are fantastic climbers. They have wide belly scales. They're super strong. They can go in the water. They can go down to the ground. They can climb around the trees. And they are constrictors. So this snake has around 100 teeth in its mouth. They're all curved backwards like little hooks. So they grab their food and they squeeze it. And they'll eat lots of different things. As they're growing up, they'll eat lizards. They'll eat different types of mammals.
You can tell he's real friendly.
Oh yeah, he's not that bad, no. We're working on him. He's pretty friendly. I wouldn't suggest letting snakes do this at home, to be honest with you, but not too bad. I'd rather have him on my face than bite me, I suppose.
Yeah,
Are there any questions about a little snake?
Trying to bite.
Nah, he won't bite me. I don't think you will, at least. Alright, so for no question, more questions on him, we're going to put him back for now. We will be able to pet a snake.
Because they are so cool. Remember they get the...
Alright, so we're going to start with this one.
They go in the house.
This is, he's cranky. This is Chompers.
Chompers.
Chompers is a dwarf caiman. We have a larger dwarf caiman in our danger zone. The reason they're called a dwarf caiman is because they are the smallest type of crocodilian. Between alligators, caiman, and crocodiles, they are the smallest type. They only get 5 to 6 feet, which for a person really isn't that small. But for a crocodile, it is pretty small. These animals are going to mostly eat a lot. They're going to eat a lot of fish. All crocodilians are going to eat meat. So snakes, mammals, lizards, other caiman, turtles are all on the list for food. And yes, people can be on that menu sometimes, so you have to be very careful. Now, if you look at Chompers, Chompers isn't very happy with me. You can see all those teeth in there. These teeth are perfect for grabbing their food and holding onto it. Alligators, caimans, and crocodiles have the largest biting force of any animal on the planet. If you get a big alligator or a big crocodile, for the adults you're looking at 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of bite force. For the kids, if you guys picture those big yellow school buses that take you to school sometimes and pick you up and take you home, if you get bit by a big alligator, it's like putting a bus on you. So I would avoid that. Now also, while you're looking at her mouth, she's got those big teeth, she's got a bunch of tiny teeth. Alligators and crocodilians have around 80 teeth in their mouth, and that helps them hold on to their food. And then we're going to rotate just a little bit, and we're going to look at her back. If you look at her back, she's very bumpy. She's got all these bony plates called osteoderms. They're little bony plates that she uses like solar panels. It helps her soak up the sun more efficiently, especially at this smaller size. The faster she gets heated up, the more energy she'll have, and that.
Oh, they look, they're mimic.
Oh, what is it?
Are they poisonous? If they release that, they're both mimic. That's a thing. Yeah, that's cool. That sounds like Wally.
Then bite piece was
This is how to block it. What? Ready to get on land. She said it'd be poisonous. Oh, you're right. No, I think I more likely like a man. I think my baby rattles. So when I'm released,
rapid city crocodile park super
whoa, get it on land.
crocodile park చెప్పాను కదా reptiles gardens rapid city అది మాత్రం సూపర్
మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళొద్దమ్మా
ఏవి లేదు తినేసి
ఉంటాయి వాటి
మింగుతుంది
కొరకడాలు ఉండవు కానీ చూస్ చేసుకోవడానికి అది పళ్ళు ఉంటాయి పైన ఉంటాయి
అది నవ్వుతుంది
జస్ట్ దాన్ని చూడు
చూడు ఎలా చూస్తుంది వెళ్ళిపోతుంది
So, like that. Some few days without food, live together. After
చూసారా అది
God dangerous. What?
ఏ శబ్దం కోపం అలా చేసుకుంటున్నా
We're hungry.